Rob here from Howcast Gaming, bringing you our review for the PlayStation 3 version of the much-hyped Battlefield 3. Following in the footsteps of the Bad Company branch of games, Battlefield 3 touts a fully fleshed-out single-player campaign. The 5-hour narrative puts you in the boots of Staff Sergeant Henry Blackburn as he recounts his tour in Iraq and Iran through a series of flashbacks that you play through. You will occasionally break away to play as other characters who man fighter jets and tanks, weaving their roles in the war directly into Blackburn's story. The narrative itself is nothing out of the ordinary for a modern-day first-person shooter. In fact, the game falls back on enough tropes that you'd start to wonder if they were just trying to emulate Call of Duty, which, let's face it, isn't worth emulating to begin with.
We at war with Russia now, is that what's happening?
The writers do try to mix it up a bit by implementing a non-linear plot, but what you end up with is the same story as other shooters, just in a different order. But who am I fooling? People don't play FPS games for the story, they want to shoot things. So how is the gunplay in Battlefield? Well, again, it's nothing extraordinary. In rare instances, you'll use anti-tank weaponry or a knife, and of course you can't forget about the token sniper level. But aside from that, you'll mostly be using run-of-the-mill assault rifles throughout the game. To its credit though, the run-of-the-mill guns do feel powerful, usually taking out enemy combatants with 1 or 2 shots. And grenades really pack a punch thanks to the Frostbite engine that allows for environment destructibility. In fact, between the destructible levels, the stellar graphics, and the uncontested level of sound quality, this game is far more immersive than any other shooter out there today. The only real flaw in the single-player campaign lies within how linear it is. Normally this isn't a failing when it comes to shooters, but with the Frostbite engine putting such a focus on destructibility, you'd almost expect more free-form gameplay that would allow you to use the fragile environment to carve out your own path in the game. Instead, you're carefully led from checkpoint to checkpoint. Single-player aside, like all other Battlefields, this game should shine with its multiplayer, and in its own way, it does. The gameplay design here is fairly similar to the multiplayer we've come to know through Bad Company 1 and 2. That means everything that makes the series fun is there, but all of the flaws are there as well, plus a new minor one. Seriously, why does my minimap look like a game of Geometry Wars? You'll disappointingly find that the multiplayer servers on the 360 and PS3 versions of the game are limited to 24 players. This results in the larger maps feeling consistently abandoned. Sure, there are smaller, more focused maps that are infantry-oriented, but those belong in a Call of Duty game. This game, after all, is called Battlefield. Developers claim that this was a compromise in order to keep a high level of both graphical and gameplay quality. And maybe this sort of compromise would have passed 5 years ago, but when I can pop in my mag disc and play online with 127 other people at once, 24 players is no longer acceptable. The significant decrease in vehicles from their earlier titles in the series is also a contributing factor to a game that was once known for its huge scale back in 1942, now feeling smaller and more empty. 22 vehicles might sound like a lot, but when you remember that the original Battlefield sported almost twice as many, it suddenly feels less impressive. Battlefield 3 doesn't really raise the bar in either the single or multiplayer experience, but what is there is still plenty of fun, which is why I give Battlefield 3 a 4 out of 5.